I am Unitzi I, and this is Behind the Music, behind the lyrics, behind the scenes, behind me. um, I'm so excited because I usually just get up and do my thing, and that's that. And it's kind of hard to explain, but I guess the best place to begin is in the beginning. So, yeah. So, confession, I didn't really get into music until close to 5 years ago. Before that, I was an actor, and coming from Tennessee and the South, and being pretty, and being able to memorize lines, and having been through an enormous amount of trauma and different experiences in my lifetime, it was quite easy for me to relate to characters in the script. And yeah, there was something though that was always missing. I don't know how to put it other than that. I mean, because I did find a lot of pleasure in acting. There was a period of time where I thought that was all I wanted. But as time has gone on and there's been therapy involved and etc., I look back now in retrospect and I say to myself, was it cathartic? Yes. Did I feel as if I'd expressed myself truly through the script and the text and the mask of said character? Yes. But at the end of the day, when the curtain closed or the camera, shut off and the director called cut and that's a wrap, I don't know if I really felt as much as if something had been lifted, an exorcism. I felt somewhat exhausted. And that's not a good way to feel, I suppose. Yeah. And then when I found music, it was interesting because I always relate it to sex. My children tell me that I should shut up and it makes them cringe. I get it, but it's true. It's true. When I found music and I stepped off said stage, it was if I had had an orgasm with everyone in the room. And not only that, I felt more awake. I felt more alive. I felt as if my soul had been fed. So I guess that's the best way to explain it. That I went from an artistic craft that I definitely needed in my path of finding what I wanted to do. I went from an exorcism of demons within my soul to a feeding for my soul. And I think that's really what this next album that is in the works is about. It's called Until Dawn. We're getting close, so stay tuned. I'll let you know. But it is definitely something that shows my journey within music, and being that it only started 5 years ago, being in that I came in as a complete switch and flip when it came to my career path, and not having a formal education in music, nor having any connections in music, nor knowing even music theory or musicians, or who could I reach to. And it took me on several journeys, none of which that I regret, because I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and if it didn't, we wouldn't be who we are. And I certainly do love who I am, and I'm grateful for those journeys and those pathways that brought me to here right now. But it was definitely a journey because, and I don't know if other artists out there, other musicians out there have experienced this, in this day and age, it is a business. It is a business, and, the business wants to make money, right? But I guess I suppose maybe that was never really the end to end for me, what I wanted. I knew coming in as late as I wasn't going to be quote unquote famous, or at least that wasn't the point, that wasn't the objective. I knew coming into it that I wasn't going to make a lot of money. That wasn't the point, that wasn't the objective. The objective was to stand without mask and share my diary. Why? Because as Ethan Hawke said on a TED Talk once, it invites others to share theirs. It invites others to realize that we're not alone and that we're not isolated in our thoughts and that we're not in our own little island of sadness and fear and anger and love and hope and desire. It opens the door for others to come and share with you. Yeah, it took a while to get here, in the words of Mary J. Blige, sang by Eve. It did. Because the business side of it wants you to be marketable, and it wants you to brand, and it wants you to fit into this little box of who are you? And at this point, I don't really know musically who I am, but I'm highly influenced by the producers that I'm working with. I'm highly influenced by the shoulda, woulda, coulda, damn it alls of the process. So it took a little time. It took a little time to find out what it was that felt true to me in sound, how I wanted to express my diary without it being influenced by the marketing and the brand and fitting into the box that the label wants so that it can put you in the checklist of, she goes here. But I'm glad that I took the time. Because again, I don't know if I would have figured it out if I'd been rushed to do so. And I'm glad that it took the several producers that I worked with to then bring me back to self, so that I could speak to other producers that I'm working with and be able to stand true and solid in knowing that I don't care if the public doesn't love it. I don't care if it can't be branded or marketed, and I won't be in the VIP, and I won't be getting my award on MTV, because I know at the end of the day I didn't sell my soul. I know at the end of the day I stayed true to what was a flow of the most beautiful river that as a leaf I could sway and swivel in until I made my way to the sea, where hopefully other people that had the same experience as me or similar experiences, they could relate and sing along. Yeah, and not feel so isolated. So that's what Until Dawn is about. The album is me finding myself individually without influence. I mean, I say without influence, but we're all influenced, right? We're all influenced by other music, and music before that was influenced to music before that, and on and on and on. And that's what's really so beautiful. Just like the lullaby or the nursery rhyme, it's been passed on and flipped and twisted and swiveled and swayed into its own new thing to keep these lessons, to keep these messages, to keep these diaries alive and relatable to each other. So I don't want to say that, this is just all me, because just like in Black and Blue, for instance, Black and Blue is a track that will be on this album, and I love it. When I reached out to Anthony Gladys, I said, hey, I want to make sure that I showcase and note all of these artists that influenced me and spoke to me when I was going through it. Being Aaron Neville, being Bill Withers, being Erykah Badu, being Ann Peebles, being, there's just infinite artists that I pay tribute to in that song. And he got it. He understood, which I was really grateful for. So, but at the end of the day, it took COVID and it took taking away layer after layer after layer of like, what does someone want from me? What do you want from me? And going, what do I want to share with you and express without a mask, without a script, without a label or a brand, just me that's it. And knowing that in doing so, that I could make it until dawn, through those darkest moments, through those times where I felt that my light was dimming, because I had found my inner glow. I'd found myself. And that's a big thing. So I look forward to sharing it with you. Stay tuned. We're going to have other behind the scenes, behind the music, behind the lyrics sessions that I'll be posting soon. So if you want to know, tune in. Until then, thank you for listening and being a supportive friend. And yeah, I wish you love, happiness, and with gratitude. Until next time.